Hello everybody and welcome to Math with Corey. Today we're going to be looking at system of linear equations, and by using substitution we'll be able to solve for both x and y. Okay, so if I look at number 1 here, right, I have two equations. X plus y equals 5, okay, that's 1. 2x minus y equals 7, that's 2. Okay, so I need to solve for both x and y such that both of these equations are true. Okay, how can I do that? Well, let's see. The first step I'm going to want to take is solve for either x or y. Okay, so pick one of these equations, solve for x or y. Okay, that's my first step. Well, if I look at this one, right, if I were to say solve for x, that would be quite simple, right? All I would have to do is subtract that y over. So I would have x equals 5 minus y. Okay, that's that. All right, so now that I've solved for x, okay, I can look at my second equation here and plug in what I've just found for x, okay, into here. Might be a little confusing. So look, so it's going to be 2 times x, right? That's what this says. 2 times x minus y equals 7. Well, if you remember, we just had solve for x, and this was in terms of y. So now I can replace x with 5 minus y. So 5 minus y equals 7, okay? So again, all I did was solve for x here and then plug in what I found for x into my second equation, okay? And this is great because now I only have one variable. What I mean by that is I only have one y, okay? I don't have both x and y, right? I only have y, okay? So now from here, I can bring this 2 in, right? I can multiply. So 2 times 5 is, well, 10, minus 2y, okay? And then I have minus y equals 7, okay? Again, I only have one variable, and that variable is y. So the next thing I want to do is combine, right? So 10, negative 2 minus 1, negative 3y equals 7. Okay, brilliant. So again, my goal here is to solve for y. The next step I can take is bring that 10 over. So I could subtract that 10 over. So negative 3y equals, well, 7 minus 10 is negative 3. So this tells me that y equals 1, okay? That I know. Okay, great. But again, my goal wasn't just to solve for y, it was to solve for both x and, well, for y and x, or x and y, however you'd like to say it. So what's my next step? Okay, well, I can take either equations, okay, and plug in what I had just found for y. So you could see this constant theme here, this substitution, right? That's why we're calling it substitution, because again, we're solving for x here and then we're substituting. We're solving for y here and then what? We're going to substitute. So let's take this first equation. This equation looks very simple, right? So if I plug in what I've just found for y, I have x plus 1 equals 5. Okay, so in order to solve for x, I'd bring that 1 over. So, negative 1, subtraction 1. So x equals, well, 4. So now I have this answer here. So 4 comma 1, right? Because it would be x comma y. So I have 4 comma 1. So for x equals 4, y equals 1. And if I plug into both of these equations, it will work. Let's prove that. So I have, let's see, 4 plus 1 is 5, correct. 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 1 is 7. 7 equals 7. It checks, okay? So again, it's that constant theme of substitution. So let's look at number 2 now. All right, so let's try to apply the same steps that we took in number 1 to number 2, okay? I have 2x plus y equals 11, and 7x minus 4y equals negative 14. And again, I want to solve for both x and y, so both of those equations are true. Okay, how can I do that? Well, just as before, right, I solve for either x or y, right? That was my first thing, okay? I'm going to choose my first equation because of this reason. Okay, if I were to solve for y, all I would have to do is subtract 2x, right? And bring it over to the right side. So again, y equals 11 minus 2x, right? So there's really no crazy reason why I chose that besides the fact that all I have to do is just subtract that 2x over, and now I have what y equals, okay? All right, great. So now, okay, what I want to do is substitute, right? Substitute into my second equation here. So this says 7x minus 4y, okay, which is now 11 minus 2x equals negative 14. So again, 7x minus 4 times y. Well, y is 11 minus 2x equals, well, negative 14. There you go. All right. So this says 7x. Okay, so now what I want to do is bring that negative 4 into the parenthesis, right? Distribute. Okay, but remember, you don't just bring this 4 in, right? You bring in the negative 4. So negative 4 times 11 is negative 44. Okay, negative times a negative is positive, so it's going to be plus 8x. Okay, and that equals negative 14. Okay, so just don't forget that negative there. All right, great. My next step, right, I can combine my x's. So 7x plus 8x is 15x. And again, I have negative 44 equals negative 14. Okay, very good. All right, so the next thing that I want to do, right, because I'm trying to solve for x here, is bring that negative 44 over to the right side. So I can add 44 on both sides. So 15x equals 30, right? Yep, 30. Okay. So if I were to solve for x, okay, I would divide by 15, right? Both sides, divide by 15. And 30 divided by 15 is 2. Okay, so x equals 2. All right, very good. But again, my goal wasn't to solve for both, just to solve for x. It was to solve for both x and y, right? Okay. So how can I solve for y? Because I have x, how can I solve for y? Well, I'm going to use the idea, again, of substitution, right? I'll take my first equation and substitute what I have found for x. So it says 2 times x. Well, x is 2. So 2 times 2 plus y equals 11. Okay? And now it's going to be quite easy to solve for y. So 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 plus y equals 11. Okay? And if I subtract 4, okay, right, to get it over to the right side, y equals 7. Okay? So now I have this. 2 comma 7, right? Because again, it's x comma y. Okay? So every time you're faced with a problem like this, it's pretty much the same idea, right? You want to find both x and y such that both of these equations are true, right? That's your goal. So what you could do, solve for either x or y, okay? Then substitute into the other equation, find your, in this case we found x, and then substitute into one of your equations to find the other variable. In this case it was y. So I have 2 comma 7. Okay? And that's that. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments below. If you want to see any different types of videos, let me know. Have a great day.